All right, we're at Ann's Bookstop, and I was just on the air saying that this was the place for Doctor Who, but little did you know, is this the place for Doctor Who? Because we have Tempest Bradford and Jennifer Pelland, who are contributors to these two books, Chicks Dig Time Lords and Chicks Unravel Time, Woman's Journey Through Every Season of Doctor Who. And the other one is a celebration of Doctor Who by the women who love it. All right. Now, I gotta tell you, I'm nearly 50. I've been following Doctor Who for 36 years. And I know one woman who's been following it around that amount of time. So I don't know a lot of women who've been following it long. How long have you been following Doctor Who?
I've only been following Doctor Who since the reboot, and that's mostly a function of the fact that I never caught Doctor Who on my local PBS. At home, I was a big Star Trek nerd when I was a kid. So
Star Trek's good too.
Love me some Star Trek. That's what got me into science fiction. But it wasn't until Doctor Who came back that I started watching it.
Jennifer, how long have you been bitten by the Who bug?
I started watching when I was 13, so that's about 30 years. Oh God. Yeah, I caught on my local PBS station. I came from a family of nerds, and we were PBS nuts. We grew up on. You know, we were watching Nova and
Masterpiece Theater,
and Masterpiece Theater and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
yep.
And also we watched Star Trek. You know,
the good one.
But Catholic in our tastes when it came to science fiction. I watched Quark. I mean, and of course Star Wars, big formative influence. But yeah, been watching it basically as long as I could.
Okay, so I'm going to start with you because you've been watching it like me since you were 13, because that's when I started watching it. What attracted you to Doctor Who? So this is you caught on during the Baker seasons, I believe,
yep.
or maybe Peter Davidson,
no,
depending.
The beginning of Tom Baker.
All right.
Right from the start. It was science fiction. That's all it took in those days. I was not particularly choosy, but also it was, you know, the days of where cheesy special effects were not something to look down on. Everyone had them. Blake 7 had them. Every show had just ridiculously silly special effects. So none of that turned me off, thankfully. But I liked the stories were fun. It was science fiction. It was there every week. It was nice, reliable science fiction. I didn't have to wait 3-4 years like Star Wars for my next fix. Yeah. So. You know, that was it. It was good science fiction, so that's all it took.
Now, for yourself, you came in later into the battle. Mm-hmm. What attracted you to Doctor Who?
Well, I started watching because I happened to be living with a person who'd been a fan for a really long time. So he was very excited about Doctor Who coming back, and I remember him saying, like when the first episode aired, it was Rose, and the theme song came on. He was like, "Oh my God, it's been years since I heard this theme song." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness!" He's like very intense about it. So I basically started watching because I was living with this person, and he was very excited about Doctor Who, and I just fell in love with it. You know, I like science fiction. I love me a good adventure story. I love like a story where like some, you know, time traveling alien is like, "Come on, person from like randomville, UK, let's go on an adventure." So I like that about it. And I also just like the depth of the stories. Like, even though I didn't know the whole history of Doctor Who, it was very clear that character had like this long and deep history, and that was easily conveyed to me, a person who didn't know anything about the Doctor and didn't really understand a lot of it. So that's why I liked it. It seemed to have a lot of depth and it was a lot of fun.
Now, it's funny you should mention that about Rose, because I thought for me the most poignant moment was when he's walking away, she's turned around, and you hear the TARDIS sound. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, being a history guy, my God, this is the first time people in England have heard this sound on a new show since the television movie back in 96. So to me, I thought that was a very poignant thing.